We are back. It's Dave and Daryl for In the Saddle. Happy New Year. We're kicking off with Kempton. It's a decent enough card, to be fair. We've got the rearranged Real Kill Hurdle there as well. I think without further ado, Daryl, I'm just going to kick off with the first race, if that's all right.
Yeah, crack on, mate.
Boom. So there are entries, horses that are multiply entered over the weekend, because obviously we've seen what's happening with the ground conditions. The first race is a juvenile hurdle. One of these that does have a double entry is Bannister. He's entered in the Grade 1 finale hurdle over at Chepstow. Now, I don't think he'll take up that engagement. This looks a more realistic target. He does set the standard, but the standard that he sets doesn't look like it's insurmountable. So he's going in, but I want some cover. Quite a few debutants, quite a few ex-flat horses in here, so we can get a bit of a handle on their ability off their flat ratings. But sage advice for the good Dr. Richard Newland, Sam Twiston-Davies on board. First time Windop, used to run in Ireland as well, so his flat rating's probably better over here if they treated it like that. He won his maiden on soft as well. I think the ground is probably going to be more testing than the going description might describe. Those two are going in for me for the first race. I'm pretty sure I've got the 1-2 there, mate. So feel free to use them if you need.
Table Mountain is going to go in for me. Pretty smart on the flat, reached rating 91. He's an interesting debutant for Tom Simmons. And Bannister's going to go in here as well. I do like this horse. He almost certainly would come to Kempton, I would have thought. Much easier option here. And that's probably going to be it. I think one of those two are definitely going to be in the first three. I think it's a tricky opening race, but yeah, one of those two should get us through to the next leg.
Yeah, mate, I agree. I get the same sort of feeling. It looks like it could be a trappy affair, doesn't it? But I feel like if Bannister comes in, he's the obvious one, should be coming in. If not, I'm through anyway with the good doctor. Second leg is a novices hurdle. This is a stay novices hurdle. 3 and nearly best part of 3 mile 1. Going description is going to be soft. Again, I talked about the ground's probably going to be a bit testing. I wonder whether the entries that came in for this race, they're expecting the ground to be a bit better, because there's quite a few good ground merchants in here. I've gone a little bit back and forth on this one. I reckon I've pretty much nailed it though. I think you need to go first, because I'm going to embarrass myself with one of my selections. So I'll let you get it off your chest first, and fingers crossed he gets a mention from you too.
Okay, the first one I'm keen to put in here is the Domino Effect. Been improving with every single run. I like this horse. Was just given too much to do at Kempton last time behind Super Canalistic, and it was a really good time. That was on good ground. Now, the ground is a slight concern for this one, but I don't think it should matter too much. I think the trip's more important for this. A real test over 3 miles, I think, is exactly what Emma Lavelle, the Domino Effect, wants. I was keen to put for Delta in here, but I'm a little bit worried about that pulled up last time. It's proven he handles soft ground. I'm going to stick him in as a bit of a cover. So the 2 Emma Lavelle horses for Delta. He ran a really nice race at Ludlow behind Salford Harvest. I'm going to have to give him that return run again at Ludlow last time. So he's going to go in here. I'm keen to avoid the top 2 in the market, actually. Both carrying big weights, 11 stone, 12 the pair, both under penalties, giving plenty of weight away. So I think the Domino Effect and for Delta for Emma Lavelle, I think one of those are definitely going to be in the first 3. And I'm quite confident that the Domino Effect might take all the beating here, to be honest.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you put for Delta in, because he's one of the weird, quirky ones I'm putting in. So for Delta, for sure, I think it's going in. And yeah, like you touched on with the ground for the other one for Emma Lavelle, that was the thing that maybe made me take him off my slip. But you could be right. He looks like he's got plenty of ability. I agree with the top 2 in terms of their double penalties as well. I think they're probably opposable. But under supervision for the Twiston-Davies team, that carries just only won 1 race, so just a single penalty. That was on crap ground. I'm hoping that factor, if the ground is so bad, I'm going to stick him in for a bit of cover as well. So under supervision for Delta go in. Oh, mate, it is. But the worst is yet to come. Just be nice. I'm putting in it. Sure is. For Nicky Henderson.
I thought this was going to be a new year, new you, Dave, but clearly not. Look, we all know he's a decent horse at home, but he ain't done anything, has he? God, he keeps disappointing.
But I had him penciled in this season because he's a second season novice, thinking, bang, off his mark, get him in a nice little handicap. However, they went chasing with him. That didn't work out. We've got cheap pieces on now. They're trying this ridiculous trip. Like, it is very much clutching at straws, much like me. That's the way I like to play. This race, though, if you look at it in terms of like a handicap thing, on official ratings, he's running off of levels with a couple that he should be giving some weight away to, so that's a benefit. And the ones higher up in the weight that are carrying the penalties aren't significantly higher rated than him, but they're giving him more weight than they would do in a handicap. So this looks like it's an opening for him. I mean, he's probably not going to be there or thereabouts, but he's a horse that everyone would have had on their slips this time last year. No one's going to want his slip this time, and maybe I might get a bit of luck. That's enough of that. Maybe I'll look enough of a mug for another week. The third race, we're getting into decent, well, I say decent races, we're getting into decent pool races now. We get into big legs, lots of runners in there, lots of horses probably with chances. You know I like my cover. This leg, I have gone for trois horses. And to start off with the French theme, Espoir de Romney, Kim Bailey, David Bass. I think he bumped into one the last day, and I think he can win off a 140. I think he can win off this mark, so that's all right. I'm also going to stick in Eric Rouge. And it's following the theme of me picking horses that I should not be picking just because they're in no sort of form. They've got no reasoning recently to be backing them. But he's so good at this track. He's down to a class 3 now. I feel like that's enough to suggest that he could be competitive. Maybe the ground might get a bit too slow for it's too testing, but I could be wrong with that. Who knows how much frost, etc. is going to be in there. So he's going in. And then Smarty Wild. He was eye-catching the last day. The ground was definitely too slow from there. He does like a bit of juice in the ground. He was quietly ridden as well. Like they're waiting to go and win a race with him. And I feel like this could be it. That trio, literally, I've given you the trifecta, mate. Don't need to bother. Done.
Do you know, I'm quite keen on the trio that you've given as well. I absolutely adore Espoir de Romney. I absolutely love him to death. I didn't think Haydock heavy ground was going to suit him at all last time, and luckily I didn't back him because he bumped into Royal Pagtown. Has obviously gone on a boost of form and is now rated 152. Espoir de Romney is such a nice horse, and I love it when David Bass gets on these Kim Bailey's horses. I'm just so worried that it's going to be the obvious option here. That would be a slight concern, but Espoir de Romney's got to go in there. I really fancy him to win this race. Smarty Wild is annoying because he doesn't really do a lot. He's not really progressing on the official figures, but you just get the feeling that they are waiting, like you said, to win a race with him. And it could well be this one. So he's got to go in there for me. I'm going to put a big price in here. It's going to be the Bay Birch 33s, around 33 to 1. So I don't think he'll be on a lot of slips. This horse dropped down the handicap mark quite considerably now for mark of 128. And it's shown up quite well in a couple of decent races, notably at Newbury on 2 starts ago behind Morning Vicar. So that was off a mark of 136, off by a mark of 128 now. There's definitely another race in the Bay Birch, and back down to this trip will definitely suit. So a big price. The Bay Birch is going to go in, along with Espoir de Romney, my love child, and Smarty Wild, the pain in the arse.
Beautiful. Well, that's us fairly much in agreement for the first few races, but another big handicap. This is a 15-runner affair on the entries. We've got horses that will be duplicated or they'll be entered all over the shop, so the field might cut down a little bit, but if all 15 did turn up, we wouldn't be getting the 4 place, we'd be getting just the 3. So this is the leg to get through. Henceforth therewith, more cover for David. I had to whittle this down just because obviously we have to do that in every race. Like I couldn't put all 15 in, I was tempted, but I feel fairly confident with the ones I've gone for. 2 for gold, pretty pants in the Gladbrook Trophy, wouldn't he? But the ground was quick, and I think this will be fine for him. It's going to be well fancied, but you know you can't leave him out. Kim Bailey, David Bass again, isn't it? Double shuffle. He's just turned 11. Can't believe he's down to 140 now. Like that marks like he's winning off that mark one day. So double shuffle's going in, and he's a course and distance winner. The only other course and distance winner in it is Slate House. He won the Feltham, the now Kelterstone Officer Chase. Since then, pulled up, beaten 70, pulled up. So regardless of the wind up, I can't put Slate House in. So course and distance form horse, double shuffle's definitely in. Kustar Savoda goes in. Only just turned 9. Feels like this horse has been around longer than I have. And everyone's sick of me, but we're not sick of Kustar Savoda yet. This is down to 137. That 137 is a winnable mark for definite. So on the premises. And then Rocco, right down the bottom of the weights, he actually comes in here with some level of recent form. I think he probably is progressive enough to suggest that he could run well off this mark. He'll be carrying a featherweight. Whether that actually really helps him that much, he's carried a lightweight before and forward. So I think he's a horse that can handle having it on his back. But in terms of class, getting a few pounds from some of the horses in here, and some of them I don't think are up to scratch anymore. Rocco could slip in a place to get me through. So they're my 4. 2 for gold, double shuffle, Kustar Savola, and up the Rocco. Just Rocco.
Christ, I don't even need a beer, do I? I was going to stick Rocco in here, but he's a very, very obvious choice. And this step up to 3 miles, I don't actually think it's going to suit him. They tried it before with him, it didn't work. Now, he looked like he was staying on again after a mistake at the second last at Kempton, but I think it was more of he was keeping on the same pace and the pack were closing on him. So I'm going to avoid Rocco for this race. Commodore is one that I am due my money back on sooner rather than later. He was just touched off by Snow Leopardess at Haydock in a very, very fast time, and then unseated his rider behind Storm Control when he looked like he was going to stay on. Storm Control wandered around inside the final furlong after he had unseated his rider, after Commodore unseated his rider. And then the closing pack, which were well behind Commodore, just closed on him all the way to the line. I think this is a gutsy horse. There's definitely a race in him. He's only a pound higher here. Venetia Williams is hitting a fair bit of form. Brian Hughes is booked. I like that booking. I don't see any reason why he can't go well. He's one right-handed as well. Kustar Sivra is the other one I'm going to put in here. Down to a mark of 137. Ran really eye-catchingly well at Banger, and then was going with plenty of zest early on in the Grand Sefton before unseating his rider there. Richard Johnson on board. That's got to be a big eye-catching booking for Nick Williams. So Kustar Sivra, Commodore, and I am going to stick one more in at a massive price. He's unseated the last twice, but he was twice a winner before that at Aintree and Uttoxeter. That's Manila Celebration at a massive price, 20-1. He's off a big mark of 150, so he shouldn't really have no chance in here, but he's just continued to improve this season, and he could have a little bit more to come, even at the age of 11. So Manila Celebration, Kustar Similar, and Commodore in this race.
I like it. I tell you what, mate, this means that I've definitely rubbed off on you because you finally picked a horse with more letters than numbers against its name. You know it's going to pay dividends in a pool situation. Right. I need to banker stuff. We know how good my record is with absolute bankers. I'm worse than the Twitter curse. But, I mean, I don't care. I'm saying it before you even get to look at this race. This is the rearranged Real Kill. It's a pretty decent enough field in its own right, but let's be honest, none of these horses are going to be winning anything significant come the spring. They're sort of intermediate horses for a reason. They're not quite good enough at 2 miles, not quite good enough at 3 miles. I know that sounds rude to these horses because we've got Grade 1 winners in there, but I don't care. I'm here to be impartial as a judge. As the judge that I am, Fabulous. That form at Newbury behind Paisley and Time Hill will stand the test of time. My only concern with him is if it gets really tacky, whether that's going to take too much out of him, and this might still be a little bit too much of a test for him. But I'm happy to just not worry about that. We'll just let it go and happen. I reckon Fabulous absolutely dots up in here if the ground doesn't really cause him any issues. All the other horses have got question marks about him. None of them really coming in with any sort of decent form. He's the one. He gets the weight from a few of them as well. He's proper, genuine, actual banker material. So Fabulous, banker, leg 5, done.
Yeah, I think you and a lot of other people are going to think that. So it's destined to be an upset in this race, I think. Look, I wouldn't have a massively strong opinion in it, but I don't think Somerville Boy's got too much to find with McFabulous on that run at Newbury. So he would be going in, last year's winner, albeit at Cheltenham. Somerville Boy would definitely be going in here for me. I'm going to stick on the blind side in here as well because I thought he's run a couple of cracking races over 3 miles, and I do think that this trip will suit him, and he won't mind if the ground gets tacky. He stays much further than this, so he's a massive prize for me. On the blind side, Somerville Boy to get in the first 2, and I'll be happy.
Oi, oi. So that is only a 7-runner race, so it is only first 2 places up for grabs. But we talked about how competitive the racing was earlier on. You can see that with the number of selectors we were putting in. That leg looks banker material. The Silvianco Conti, another Grade 2, back-to-back Grade 2s. It's only 4 runners, so only 1 place is up for grabs. It's win only, so that works for the place perspective as well. I know exactly which horse you're going to love in here, but I also feel like within the same love for that horse, you know that there's reasons to maybe take it on. So without putting words in your mouth, Imperial Aura should be winning this. There is no doubt about that. Loves the ground. I mean, the track will be all right, probably better around undulating tracks, but I don't think he's specific. I think he can just handle anything. Got to give a bit away to a couple of horses, but even on those ratings, he still should be able to do it. Looks progressive this season, so literally is the one to beat. But The one horse I do think he's going to struggle to give the weight to, and he's won round here, is Master Tommy Tucker. Like, he loves to flat track. So you just line through the last run. This sounds terrible as well, because my worry with Master Tommy Tucker is he hasn't fallen this season. He's had 4 spins on the bounce and he hasn't ballsed up. We know before that he used to falter more than he would complete a race. So either he's lost a little bit of that aggressiveness, or he's smartened up and he jumps nicely now, or he's due a fall. So for that reason, I think Master Tommy Tucker is the play in the race, but I've got to just stick Imperial Aura as well. I know it's boring. I've gone for the first 2 in the betting, but we've taken a few risks earlier on. If we get through to this leg, I want half the field covered to make sure that I'm taking home the winnings. Done.
There's 2 balls came here at Kempton.
Oh, no.
I think Imperial Aura is worth taking on. I think the price there is at the minute is absolutely woeful. Beating cheap feet by 5 lengths at Ascot last time, then beat Windsor Avenue, done nothing but disappoint by 2.5 lengths. I love Imperial Aura, but I'd definitely be taking him on here. Master Tommy Tucker will go in here. Clondall Castle is the other one that's going to go in here as well. Riders on the Storm, I was bitterly disappointed with his effort at Cheltenham on seasonal return, so I couldn't have him for the minute. Clondall Castle, last time he ran Roy Andy, bolted up by 14 lengths at Huntington. This horse is progressive. He's done nothing but improved in 3 runs this season. He was much better than the bare result behind Mr. Fisher when hampered by Fanny and Destravel at Cheltenham last time. I quite like this horse. I don't think he's got too much to find. He's getting £6 from Imperial Aura. That puts him there or thereabouts in this race, and he's definitely got more to come. If the ground is on the better side of soft, then that will definitely suit him. So no real negatives for me with Clondall Castle. I fancy him quite a little bit actually to win this race. So yeah, Master Tommy Tucker and Clondall Castle are going to go in to take on Imperial Aura.
Excellent. So that wraps up the 6 races for Kempton that we've got captured in the Colossus Bets Place 6. Daryl, you're definitely confident on a few this week, so that's hopefully going to echo through to people. Obviously, you can join into our syndicates. You don't have to. If you agree with our selections, then you get involved. You can buy into mine. You can buy into Daryl's. You can create your own, of course. You can create your own syndicates. You can create your own solo tickets. But whatever you're doing, be lucky. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next week.